All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. I am your host, Neil, the 604 Atheist, and today I have the lovely Miss Rachel Oates from across the pond with me today. Now, just to come clean with you guys, Rachel really doesn't have deconversion stories, so to speak, but we were talking, and there has been religious-type influences in our lives. So we're going to get a little bit into that today, and we're going to reminisce a little bit about the Faithless Forum, and we're going to talk about, stuff in general, I think, today, just because I'd originally had Zara Kay, actually. Yeah, but I told you that she was supposed to do this. And she couldn't because her partner decided to plan a trip at the same time. So, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm like, screw me, go on a trip. I wouldn't want to be that guy that held you back, right? So Rachel, how you been doing?
Yeah, good. Like working hard. But I'm enjoying it. I'm doing a lot of kind of like longer, more research-heavy videos at the minute, and kind of more sort of like in-depth storytelling about stuff. And I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a hell of a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, it looks like you got a bookshelf full of research behind you.
Oh God, yeah, my house is just filled with books. It's a nightmare when I have to move. I've got 2 more in the bedroom as well, and it's just my house is like 80% books.
Well, I just picked this one up, Mr. Andrew Seidel's Founding Myth.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Well, I've read a little bit, and I also have it on audiobook. So I've been listening to it at work and stuff like that too. Right. Which is generally where I listen to pretty much everything, because when I'm off work, I don't really have a lot of time to sit and listen to podcasts or whatever. So usually that's where I'm always catching up on the videos and stuff like that. Well, so let's get a little bit into, like, I know that your family, I think you were saying, wasn't really religious anyways, but were there anyone around you that was trying to, like, I don't know, proselytize and get you involved or anything like that?
So I actually went to a Church of England school for the first 7 years. So my nursery was like attached to it, so that was kind of there, but it wasn't really a big thing. But then as soon as I got to infant school and junior school, so this is the age of like 5 or 6 to 11, it was like constantly like RE lessons there were basically then telling us Bible stories and telling us, God did this and God did this and then Jesus did this. And every Wednesday morning we would have an assembly with the local vicar, and I hated it. And I didn't really know why at the time, because I just thought like being a Christian was like the normal thing. And I just thought I was a bit weird for not really believing it. Like, I don't know.
You were weird for not.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was weird. So my parents were never church-going religious type people. My mum definitely kind of has a thing against Christianity because, she was forced to read the Bible a lot when she was growing up, and she's like, it's one of the most disgusting books I've ever read. Right. So I get that. But she still believes in a God, just a God in general.
Like a deist.
Yeah, basically. Like, she doesn't exactly know that label, so she doesn't label herself that way. But yeah, that is what makes the most sense, I think, for her. My dad doesn't really care either way. He's not fussed. But yeah, my mum still labeled us as like Church of England because that was normal and expected. And I don't know, it was odd. And I always used to hate like the assemblies, and I always thought the Bible stories were more like fairy tales or fables or myths, where like, it was a story and you can learn something from it, whether it's about being a good person or helping people or whatever. But I never thought they really happened. Shh, come on, baby. Good girl. Sorry, you're a fussy little girl, aren't you? Yes. You just want all the attention. Oh, no. Good girl. Sorry. So when I probably hit around like, I don't know, 7 or 8, it kind of hit me. I was like, wait. People think this stuff's real. And that was when I started to think, oh God, is there something wrong with me for not believing it? Is there, oh, here we go. Here she's going to stuff herself in front of the camera, aren't you? Come here.
It's my close-up.
Ooh, careful. That's a good girl. Sorry. And then my sister turned around to me one day and, God, sorry, that was my neighbour. Made me jump.
Shut up, neighbour.
Sorry. Yeah, so then a lot of people know that my brother and sister are quite a bit older than me. So my brother was 10 years older than me. My sister was 14 years older than me. So when I was about 7 or 8, she would have been around 21-ish. And this one day we were just like, I remember it like so vividly. I was sat on her bedroom floor playing with makeup, and she was like doing her hair or something, getting ready to go out with friends. And she was asking me about school and stuff. And I was like, oh, we did such and such a story in RE, whatever. And she turned around to me. She was like, so do you believe in God? And I was like, oh, it's like a choice people make. And
she asked you this when you were 7?
Yeah.
Really?
And I was like, oh, so some people don't believe in him, some people do. And so it kind of hit me that at the time I saw it as a choice, you know. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, I read in the children's Bible that supposedly like God made the world in 7 days, and this happened and this happened. But there's no mention of dinosaurs, and I know dinosaurs existed because I read in such a book this, and I started like going through it with her, and I was like, so no, he's probably not real, is he? And she just like looked at me with so much pride. And yeah, that was kind of when she first I think it was her who said, so you're an atheist? And I was like, yeah.
That's the first time you heard the word?
Yeah, that was like the first time I sort of labeled myself as an atheist and realized, I guess, why the preaching and the vicars and all that kind of stuff just didn't appeal to me. I was like, because I don't believe in any of this stuff. I can still learn the morals from it, but only in the same way that I learn from, like, you know, Rudyard Kipling's Just So stories and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was almost like a switch going off in my head, and I was like, oh, this is why it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then religion wasn't really much of a big deal after I hit 11, because I went to like a pretty like standard secondary school, and we had RE lessons there where we learned about all different kinds of religion. And so it wasn't like one religion being forced upon you. It was like, you know, Christians believe this, Jews believe this, Buddhists believe this, Muslims believe this. And it was literally religious education in terms of this is what everyone thinks. And we also covered like atheism and agnosticism and stuff like that. And it was great. And then I remember when I was maybe 14 or 15, there was this girl sat across from me at lunch. And I want to call her a friend because I don't really have any friends at that age, but you know, I was the weird kid. But yeah, and she said something.
I hear you there.
Yeah. I think a lot of us on YouTube can relate to that.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It's actually kind of what I really like about the community, because like we're all kind of the weird kids who just found each other and just now feel really at home together, which I love. And anyway, she said something to me, and she was like, oh my God, that was it. That was what started it. So it was the census, and my mum marked me as like a Christian. I was like, that's not accurate. Just put me as atheist. And because I was like this pussy teenager. I was like, Mum, you're going to mess up the data if you put this wrong. And she's like, no, I can't have people thinking my daughter's an atheist. Because to her at the time, it was still like a bit of a dirty word. And so we had a big argument about it. And I mentioned that. And this girl was like, but you are a Christian. I was like, am I? You know, I wish someone had told me sooner. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, you were christened, right? Your parents christened you when you were a baby. That makes you a Christian for life. And I was like, no, it doesn't. Like, I had no say over that. That doesn't influence my beliefs. I don't believe in a God. I don't follow the Christian holy book.
Yeah.
I'm not a Christian. And she was so adamant that I was. Oh, come on, baby. She was so adamant that I was, just because I'd been baptized. And it was really weird.
Oh, you were baptized?
Yeah. Like what? But when I was like 6 months old.
Oh yeah, so you didn't really have a choice in the matter.
Yeah. It was just like a thing, you know. Basically, an excuse for my mum to put me in a pretty dress and have a bit of a celebration, you know. That
Anything
was
to put our kids in dresses.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty much it. So yeah, she was so adamant that I was a Christian, and it became this whole thing where she was like, no, if you're baptized, you're a Christian. I was baptized, I'm a Christian. I'm like, yeah, but you believe in God? She's like, that doesn't matter. I was baptized. And I'm like,
you're saved.
What?
It's okay.
Yeah, it was so weird. And then as I got a bit older, my brother, actually, it turns out that he got really into religion, and he met his wife through that, and they now like go to church together, and they're raising their 2 kids to be like Christian as well, and all their friends go to church, and it's a bizarre experience for me when I go and like hang out with them all, because I'm almost like afraid to tell them what I do for a living. And I remember the first time what was it? It was my nephew's dedication. So they didn't get him baptized because they were like, we want that to be his choice when he's older, but we're going to have like a dedication which basically says we're going to raise him and like teach him our beliefs, but he's still free to go his own way if he wants to when he's older. So I like went down for that because basically it was an excuse to have a party for my nephew. And the entire time I was down there were certain friends of theirs that they went to church with who just kept cornering me and trying to convert me and telling me I was wrong and like questioning this and this and why do you believe this and why do you believe this?
You're wrong thing. Oh, I hate that so much.
And this was way before I started YouTube. This was back when I was still at uni. And I was just like, I'm literally just here to like cuddle my nephew and get some cake. I don't want to be doing this. But it was so like, I don't know, like passionate about it and quite forceful. And it was just like all these weird little things and weird little, moments in debate with people. Don't eat my hair. Don't eat my hair.
Kissy time.
You do want to kiss, don't you? When you're careful, you're going to fall off my legs. Careful. Sorry, she's like a baby, aren't you? I know. This is what your viewers want to see. Oh, careful. Yeah, basically, so it's lots of little kind of interactions like that, mostly with Christians, to be honest, but only because I was around them more than any other religion. That started, I guess it started making me want to talk about atheism a bit more and just kind of get people to understand it and know that I'm not necessarily opposing all religion just because I'm an atheist. And just because my mum had me baptized when I was like 5 or 6 months old, that doesn't influence my beliefs now. And just lots of kind of misconceptions like that. And I wanted to start talking about it more. And then when Dan's mum tried to recruit me into her weird cult, I was like, yeah, okay, it's more than just Christianity that needs speaking about. It was like everything. So yeah, lots of things kind of influenced me. Sorry, I realize I'm just kind of talking at you now.
That's what this is about. It's okay. This is for people to tell their stories, right? That's why I do this sort of thing. I think it's, because I was, I guess you could say I was, it's weird because I don't really remember growing up. I was raised Jewish, as you know, we talked about a little bit about that. And yeah, I remember thinking that the stories, I remember going to Hebrew school and thinking that the stories, and I asked my teacher, I said, this sounds like all the other mythologies kind of thing that I've read about Greek and Roman and Norse, whatever, these fantastical stories of giants and big warriors and stuff like that. Like it's the same thing. Like a guy whose hair keeps his strength. Like what the fuck is that all about? Right. So.
And like once you start reading about that sort of stuff as well, you see like patterns between them. So like there are like these recurring themes of floods or brothers fighting. You have like Romulus and Remus, Cain and Abel, like lots of different patterns and stuff. And you start to see them and you're like, hang on a minute, why is that supposed to be real, but this one's fake?
Exactly.
Like, they're basically the same story. And yeah, it just kind of all started to fit together to me. And as I got more interested in like science, especially biology, and started learning about like human biology, evolution, and so on, and it all just kind of, I don't know, it fits together once you understand it. Way more than religion ever could, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think you come to that realization that it's just mythology, just like all the other ones. It's just we're in that period right now where people are buying this mythology rather than the Greek mythology, that kind of thing, right? So, because I remember watching, what was it, Spartacus, and the Jupiter's, the guys were always screaming about the different gods from that time period. Go, yeah, it sounds like people today, just from back then.
Yeah. Oh, completely.
Yeah. Is that the monster drink you got there?
Maybe.
I saw you do that the other day where you had the monster drink in a wine glass. You go, now that's classy right there.
You say classy, I say lazy.
Oh, is that lazy? Why? You don't know where you keep your rest of your glasses?
No, in the breakup, Dan got most of the regular glasses and the pint glasses and stuff, and I got the wine glasses. I just haven't got any of them yet.
Seems kind of apropos, I guess.
I think he thought I'd just turn into like a wine mum.
Yeah, there you go. Wine mum. Wine and dogs. Wine and doggos.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the post I put on Twitter about it said this dog all on a couch and he's all twisted up like a pretzel and says, never. I'm like, don't put your doggo together when you're drunk.
I did see that. I love that.
It's so funny.
Kyra sleeps like that all the time, like all twisted up. And sometimes I'm waking in the night with like one of her paws in my face. I'll reach out to her and be like, wait, your back foot is here. And your front foot is here. And your tail is, what are you doing?
Yeah, they're contortionists, I swear. Like, I don't know how can they be comfortable? It's like, that does not look comfortable.
Yeah, Kyra, answer that. How can you be comfortable, hey?
I don't want to bark. Does she bark much or?
No, she's not really a barker. I think I've heard maybe 6 barks from her in the entire time I've had her.
Really?
Which is probably 18, 20 months now.
Well, I'll guarantee you she'll bark if somebody were to threaten you.
Oh, yeah. There was a few weeks back now, someone knocked on my door at like, I can't remember the time now. I have told this story before, but it was something like 1 or 2 in the morning, and it was just a random man, and we were both asleep, and this guy knocked on the door. And at the time, I was terrified, but looking back, it was probably just someone who got the wrong house or was delivering food or something. But the fact that someone woke us up in the middle of the night, she let out like the deepest, loudest bark I've heard, and then she just stood in the hallway staring at the front door growling. I was like, God, that must sound so intimidating from the outside. Like, if you'd known that she was this tiny little dog.
Yeah, who needs security when you got her?
You're my protector, aren't you? Yes.
Prophet Todd is with us, by the way, and he says that his dog has barely ever barked in 11 years.
Oh, sounds like you, doesn't it? Yeah. She is talkative though. Like when you get her excited, she'll like and like grumble at you and stuff like that. She just, you don't bark, do you? You just talk.
Do you think they'll ever figure out what their whether or not they can really understand us and how they communicate back to us? Because I've seen a couple of specials on that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've read a few books on it, and it's really, really interesting. And like the more we learn about dogs, the more we think they can understand, which I think is amazing. This girl definitely like. Sorry, it's my air freshener. She definitely understands words rather than just sounds. Because I always thought it was like the sound and pitch and the way you said things. So you could say 2 words that sounded similar, and as long as you got like the tone and stuff right, they'd get excited. That's how it used to work with my old dog. But this girl, she knows like individual words, so it doesn't matter how I say them, she'll get excited about it. So I don't want to get her worked up now, but she loves the word breakfast in the mornings. And if I'm like, yeah, breakfast, she gets excited and starts running around. She's like, rah, 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 rah. Or I can be like, shh, Kyra, 5 more minutes. I'll get you breakfast in a minute. And I can say it in like a sleepy tone like that. But as soon as I say that word breakfast, no matter what the tone is, she's all like, rah, 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 rah. Come on, Mom.
I'd be the same way. Breakfast? Yeah. As a matter of fact, I still got half a bagel that I haven't finished yet from Timmy's.
What time is it over there? It's quite early, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's 10. Well, just about, it's 20 after 10 in the morning. So.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we're 8 hours behind you. So, guys, if you want to know what the future's like, you can talk to Rachel.
It's dark.
So yeah, and so is another one of my friends is in the chat with us. Best name ever. She's also across the pond over in Europe there. So, yeah,
amazing. What you doing, Triple them? What you doing? You gonna comfy? You right there? Yeah. Sorry.
So have you seen Steve? Well, yeah, because we're in the same group chat. So Steven's new game, Debunked.
Oh, I'm so excited for it. It looks so good.
So cool. Yeah.
I remember when he first announced it, and he just told me and Thomas at first, and we were so excited for it, and we were like, we have to have a copy. And it's kind of amazing to see him going through it like stage by stage, and now he's actually got the prototypes, and it's gonna be amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, and I like the two different colors, the black one and the white one.
I think I prefer the black one.
Yeah, see, I'm the other one. I like that. Well,
oh, really?
I'm always in black and stuff. It's all for me. So I got a question for you, something that I was thinking about the other day. And I've been asking everyone that I've given one to, but what did you do with your sticker?
Oh, it's actually, this is going to sound really sad. It's in like the top drawer of my bedside table with all my other Faithless forum stuff. So like I got a few like cards from people and other stickers as well, and my little lanyards in there, my like wristbands that I got, and your stickers in there with it as well. Because every now and again I just like go and I get it out and I look at them and I'm like,
Yeah, this was so much fun. I know I tried the wristbands. I've got all of them too, but they squeeze the shit out of my wrist because I'm a big guy, right?
So, they keep falling off mine.
Can
I have like some of your wrist and hand size, please?
Yeah, I'll try to shave some off for you the next time I see you.
You can do that together. We'll have like two normal hands instead of like a skeleton hand, like a bear paw.
Yeah, they were too tight, and there was like they felt constricting, so I took them off after a while. I wore them for a few days, anyways. You know, soldier through kind of thing, right? But yeah, but that was actually the Faceless Forum was a lot of fun. You guys did a great job up there on the panels.
Oh, thank you.
I'm kind of hoping. I don't know. I haven't really talked about it with Drew or Thomas or Owen or anyone, the people involved in putting that together. But I wouldn't mind getting up and doing a little chit chat up on the podium as well about all the stuff that I've now, because I'm now in my second season, about to go into my third season. And by the way, I got my very first, what do you call it, Scientology guy, Chris Shelton.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, he's going to come on and talk about that.
Oh, I bet that's really cool.
Yeah, well, that. Chris or Scientology is just fucked up. I don't even know what to make of that. Alien.
I've read a few books of it recently. Like the last one I read was The Church of Fear. It's so messed up, but it's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they I think if you want to leave, you have to pay them or something. Is it some?
Oh god, you have to pay to join. You have to do everything to leave. They don't like people leaving either, and they don't even like people looking into them. They'll get like really kind of protective and scary about it.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay, babe, do you want to go down? Sorry, give me a second. Go on, Dick. There you go. Good girl.
Go do dog stuff.
You'll see her. Wow. Sorry, she's going to be pottering around in the background now. Yeah.
That's all right.
What was I saying? So like a lot of the stories from like journalists who've looked into it and authors and stuff, like there are literally people from Scientology who will like follow them around and like chase them and like threaten them and all sorts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sorry, she's responding.
I think that's one that everyone should stay the fuck away from.
Oh yeah, but it is really interesting as well because one of these things that, well, I don't know why anyone would join up now that kind of everything's out there. But at the start, people didn't really know kind of how crazy and weird it was. Mm-hmm. And when you have all these big celebrities involved, when you have such charismatic like leaders and stuff, I can see kind of why it's appealing. And then you pay a lot of money to get involved and you learn a bit more. You pay more money and learn a bit more. And this happens over like long time spans as well.
Yeah.
After a while, you put in so much money and so much time and so much effort that once you realize how ridiculous it is, you kind of don't want to leave anymore because you're like, well, I'm already in this deep, so.
Yeah, I've invested this much time and money, right?
Very interesting.
Yeah, but and plus you got to remember L. Ron Hubbard with that book Dianetics. That book sold millions of copies, right? And there's some interesting ideas in there for sure. And I do definitely believe that you are basically in charge of your own success, not for sure, which kind of goes along the lines of that stuff. But but to turn it into some sort of a cult, that just seemed like a real weird left turn. Because I never even heard of Scientology until the L. Ron Hubbard, right? And I didn't realize it was actual. I just thought it was a thought process, and then it wasn't actually a belief system like a religion, as they're now classified. So it kind of blew me away when no, people are this what? And then you hear about the Xenu and all that stuff, right? And you're just
Oh God, yeah.
This is like a hard left whack job turn.
But hey, kind of. But it is like you said though, there is kind of that slight slither of truth in it in terms of being
sure.
in control, and that's kind of where all the best or at least most convincing lies and stuff come from. That slither of truth, and then once they get you to believe that, they just build on it and build on it, you know?
Yeah, exactly, for sure. That's they give you these little truth nuggets, and then you just get stuck in there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, David Worley is with us. David, I thought didn't you just go live for some reason? You were like with your patrons or something? All two of them? I'm just teasing. I only have two. But two is better than none. And actually, David is one of my patrons. So, yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, I said as soon as I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was going to do up a Patreon because I figured it was probably a little bit more worth it at that point. So I did that, and I'm almost at 1,100 now. It's great.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's getting up there. And I think in order to be able to speak at Faithless Forum, you had to have at least 1,000 subscribers. I'm pretty sure. So maybe just maybe this year I'll be able to do it.
I don't know, definitely speak to the guys because I know they're thinking of making it a 2-day event next year.
Yes.
So it's going to be a lot bigger, probably a lot more speakers.
Oh,
probably a lot more for this one. What do you want? Don't you? I'm sorry. She's in her grumbly mood.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I fully expected this, so I'm prepared. I'm trying to talk my guys in my band. I'm like, you should come down with me for the weekend. Anyways, I'll be staying longer, but we should play some tunes at the Faithless Forum. They're like,
that'll be amazing.
Yeah, right. But they're like, they don't know if they can do it. So, I mean,
there's a lot of like you guys who are musicians, aren't there? Because Alex plays guitar. Dan plays, violin, I think. Drew plays guitar as well, I think.
Yep. Well, yeah, I sang with them.
Yeah.
At Matt's place, right? Well, I tried to.
No, I remember that.
And then, of course, Christina put it up on I think it was Facebook or something. That she put live up there.
Oh.
There's
you guys can start with a band and play exclusively Christian music. Sorted.
I don't know. I think I could do some Hinduist type music too because I like to do the Eastern sound singing. Like I don't know if you're familiar with the Tea Party, which is a Canadian band. The singer sounds a lot like Jim Morrison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely check them out. They're interesting. They've got some great tunes. Splendor Solace is their first album. It's the best one.
Okay, I'll listen. Thank you.
Zod says there's not a subscriber requirement.
There you go then.
And Zach Brown says, Neil, I'd like to request Failing Gracefully, which is one of our songs. Well, yeah, my current guitar, that song was recorded with my original guitar player, Will, who passed away. He had a brain aneurysm or something. And then when they were in there operating on it, he had 2 strokes. So when,
listen.
Yeah, so they figured it was best just to not try to bring him back because he would have been a vegetable at that point. So we have another guitar player, and he doesn't really know the song, but I'll get him to learn it for sure because it is a really good song. It's one of our more popular ones too. That one, and I think Dollhouse, which is an acoustic 12-string Spanish guitar type acoustic thing, and yeah, we do. When we put the band together, Will and I were talking about it because him and I was the one that started. We're like, I don't want to be one of those bands like fucking Nickelback or something where every song is the same, right? So I want to have different sounds like the bands that we loved and grew up with, like Rush and Led Zeppelin. They all had sort of different sounds throughout their careers. So we figured, let's do all kinds of different sounds, and we still do that to this day. We got stuff that sounds quite bluesy. We got stuff that's like really heavy and in your face, and we got acoustic light sounding stuff. And I wrote a song called "Let It Go," which is about letting go of religion. It's not the one from Frozen. People, shut it. And about leaving religion behind and stuff like that. And our new bass player, when I was singing the words, he's like, He's listening. I could see him mulling it over in his head. He goes, "This sounds really anti-religion." I'm like, "Yep, it's anti-religion, all right." He's like, "Okay, I could dig this." And now he's subscribed to my channel. He didn't even know that I was doing this, and yeah, it's too funny. So, well, he knew when I told him, of course. Yeah, so yeah, and we just got this guy. This is like the 5th time he's been playing with us, and he's already picked up our tunes. He's a phenomenal bass player. Like, I've never worked with somebody of his caliber. So it's amazing. And he's on the same page as us. He likes doing this for fun mostly. The occasional gig, he's not in it for the money, and neither am I really. I love making music, right? So just do that, and that's what I want to do. And then every once in a while, people go, "Hey, you want to come play this thing?" And I'll be like, "Sure." And we go, and usually to pretty good response too. People go, "Wow, I like your songs." So that's encouraging, right? So
I like that. A lot of my friends are musicians here in London, and they're like, they kind of get what it's like to work for yourself and kind of be creative. And
yeah, for sure.
Like, not have a 9-to-5 job, and I kind of really appreciate that, because even though what I do is kind of completely different to all of them, there's still kind of like a lot of the same like creative processes and the kind of you know that I know the kind of conflict you have between wanting to create what feels right to you and wanting to create what the fans want. They kind of understand that and trying to find that happy medium between it. And yeah, that's good. But the difference is a lot of them like make their money from music. I mean, I make my money from YouTube, but like, yeah, I don't know. It must be tough. But I don't know. I'm rambling. Sorry.
So I'm just sort of watching the chat at the same time. Ex-Cult Baby has joined us.
Oh, hi. Oh, I love her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I didn't put 2 and 2 together till later, but I actually met her at the Faithless Forum last year, right?
Yeah,
so, yeah, which is she's great. And I remember I now remember the scene was I was like giving away stickers and stuff, and they're kind of like, just okay, sure. They didn't know who the hell I was. But she does now. Yeah, I'm kind of an in-your-face person, so if you don't know who I am, you will.
No, I like that. It's good.
So have you heard anything about this year's event, what they're going to be doing, like what the dates are or anything like that? Because I don't think they still figured it out yet.
I don't know. I know you'd have to speak to Thomas, Drew, Zod, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Zod in the chat. Well, he was. I don't know if he's still in there. Oh. This Ex-Cult Baby says, "You're both lovely, and I can't wait to see Neil at the next Faithless Forum." Well, you were at the last one. I just don't think we really knew who each other were. So,
well, she hasn't started YouTube then. I don't think. I think she only started a channel afterwards. I'm glad she did. Sorry, I got my squeaky chair. I'm moving around a lot. You're a bit of grumbly girl as well. I know, baby. I know.
And now David. Oh, hey, Joel Pearson, who's a friend of mine who lives in your neck of the woods there, that I interviewed quite a ways back, said that you got a shout out on Richard Carrier's blog.
Yeah, I saw that today. I was shocked. It was like a Jordan Peterson thing as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Like,
which, by the way, guys, if you're ever walking around and you hear Jordan Peterson somewhere around, it could be Ocean Keltoy.
Oh my god, his Jordan Peterson voice is scarily good.
I know, right? We did the voices for that Zod show, the Bible Atheist, or not Bible Atheist, Bible what do they call it, Jeopardy?
Oh yeah.
Right? So I did Ray Comfort, which was funny as fuck. I can't remember what it was, but somebody posted this thing about how they can check stuff in, and there's a picture of banana, and the guy's got a needle going in the banana. I said, that picture make Ray Comfort nervous.
Oh my god, I saw that. What? Hey. Sorry, it's getting near her walk time. She's really grumpy.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry, Dean. You'll be a little bit late tonight. It's okay. Sorry.
Oh, that actually, now that you mention that, Rachel, are you going to be able to do a little bit of an after party?
Hopefully, yeah. If you let me like take her out for 10 minutes, then yeah, I can come join you.
I usually do a break in between anyways, so you got her.
Yeah.
Then you do that, give her a little run around, and we can do that afterwards. And I'm sorry, frustrated. I just saw that you came into the chat. and he's usually the one posting these pretend fun facts about everyone that I'm doing interviews with. And I don't know if he did already, but let me see if I can find one. Rachel, fun fact. There we go. Someone once told Rachel to know her place. She said she had verbally kicked his ass and he now answers to a redheaded dominatrix. What that means. Yeah, he posts all kinds of stuff like that. Anyway, that's an example. And my friend Inquisitive Quandary, who is on the ball as usual, my moderator extraordinaire, is punching in all of your Patreon, your YouTube, stuff like that. Shit, right, your Patreon. I should have added that to the list of links below. By the way, guys, I do have Rachel's most important links down below. You can follow her on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that. The parody video. Oh, yeah. They're still talking about the one that we did with Zod. About the atheist, or I keep saying atheist, the Bible Jeopardy thing. It's so early in the morning. I'm still learning how to, speak again. Every day I wake up.
All the way through the day. For someone who does talking for a living, I mess up my words a hell of a lot. I am stuttering and slurring my words. I'm like,
Well, the slurring only comes in when I start drinking beer.
I wish I could say the same. Sometimes people will comment and be like, "Are you drunk in this?" I'm like, "No, I'm just nervous."
It's kind of the same thing, really.
Socially anxious, same thing.
Okay, I don't know if she can you see the chat actually, Rachel? Because if you go up to the right, there's a little option where it says live chat.
Live comment. Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. I guess the bottom one there with David Worley. I'm not entirely. I heard that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, from your interview with him.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And I was actually going to mention that that was a very nice thing you said when you mentioned my name there. So yeah, because that was a lot of fun, just hanging out at Matt's place all the time, and
it was good.
I
like
feel
the board games as well.
Yeah. The board. I didn't get in on that. I think I was already had too much, so I didn't.
Did you not play Secret Hitler with us?
No, I should have too.
It was so funny.
Yeah, this year.
There was one where Steve, as in Rationality Rules, Steve was Hitler, and I was so suspicious of him. I was like, it's him, and then and I was so convinced, and then everyone convinced me it wasn't, and it was, and so I was oh my god, I was so angry, and I fun angry, but I tweeted out, oh my god, Steve is literally Hitler, and then this was everything kicked off, and I was like days afterwards, I was like, oh my god, people are going to think I'm so mean.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially with everything that was going on at the time, too.
Yeah. You
probably had a lot of the, well, I don't really want to get into it too much, but you probably had a lot of their followers going, that's right.
Didn't help me in the long term, though, did it?
No. But that was so much fun. And I feel kind of bad because Matt was trying to get me to try this super expensive tequila. I don't know if you were there when that was going on.
Oh my god, his tequila was so good.
I know, and I didn't, because I'm not a big fan of tequila. It always makes me sick, so I didn't want to try it. And he goes,
so nice.
I'm gonna this year. I'm gonna say, Matt,
within 5 minutes of being at Matt's house, he's like, all right guys, guided tour, and he was showing us around. He took us upstairs. All of a sudden, he just hands me this huge bottle of tequila like this. And he was just drinking. I was like, oh my god! And you want me to drink this amazing tequila straight from the bottle.
That's awesome. Yeah, so, I couldn't believe, because you watch people. I'll be honest. I've been watching you, of course, and all the other folks that were involved at the show, but for at least a few years now, right? Or for a couple of years, anyways. And so it was a real thrill for me to actually get out there and meet everybody. But
me too.
You never know what to expect, because people can sometimes be somebody else behind the camera, right? And even I ham it up a little bit here, but well, you now know that this is pretty much me anyway. Straight up just a big goofball anyway, right? So, but to meet folks and to find out that they really are kind of who they are behind the camera, I understand, like with Stephen putting on the face and doing the whole serious talk, but it's him. It's just him being like a teacher or something when he's teaching something. So, and it was refreshing. But Matt threw me for a loop because I was expecting this angry guy just going around like I thought he was going to hit a button and hang up on me. Right? So, but he was awesome. Like it was so cool to meet him.
He's just like a big teddy bear, isn't he? He's so friendly, so sweet.
And Aaron too.
Yeah, Aaron's great.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like when I have a picture of me and him standing together out in front of this restaurant where it says on the top says "Monkeys Welcome," right? Or top. And there's the two of us with this hair and these big ass fucking bodies, and now I'm gonna get them done. I think next month I'm gonna get them done. Instead of Sons of Anarchy, it's gonna say Sons of Atheism.
Oh,
have the t-shirts.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, and if people really like them, then I'll make them up. But I'm gonna have to change the logo a bit, or else I'll get some sort of copyright infringement shit, right? So
It's a great idea, though.
yeah,
I
I think it's cool.
When we first got to Austin, Aaron picked us up from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And we went straight to this restaurant where we're meeting like a few of the other guys. And there's this photo of me, him, Steve, and Steve's girlfriend Hannah, all like stood at the bar. Yeah. And like the guys are there with like their pints and stuff. And I think even Hannah got a pint as well. And then I'm there with this like gummy bear cocktail that was literally like a bright green vodka cocktail filled with gummy bears.
That's awesome.
I was just like so girly next to them.
I never even heard of anything like that.
It was amazing. Like they were asking like, oh, what beer's got the strongest percentage? What beer's this? What beer's this? And I'm like, I'll have this one. And was like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. It comes with real gummy bears, right? Yes.
Have you seen the 3-pound ones? The gigantic gummy bears?
Oh my god, yes, they look amazing.
They're huge, and they have gummy worms too that are like apparently 3 feet long.
Oh,
they're
huge.
So
much. Oh, amazing.
I would die if I ate that. I would have a sugar overdose, and that'd be the end of it right there. But I can't think of a better way to go eating something like that. That or chocolate. I'm a big chocolate fan.
In the chat, I think.
Oh, more fun facts. Yeah.
Sorry. Oh wait, there's another one.
He's done too. They just come out of him. I don't know how. Russ is pretty quick thinker.
Oh my god, I love that one.
What, the bigger dick one, or?
Yeah. So I'm actually in the middle of editing. So this isn't the big heavy research one I'm doing. This was just like a fun light one I did. But I'm editing the video at the minute about what I would say is the female equivalent to MGTOW. And it's like a group of women who have these like really terrible ideas about dating. And I don't want to give too much away because
no, you guys are gonna have to tune in.
Yeah. It's like there's part of it where the advice is never date a guy. You can date, but never be in a relationship with a guy. You have to go from dating to engaged straight away, no in between.
Really? So you can't move in with them to give it a trial run or anything like that?
No, that's just the man using you, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No. A girl moves in with us. We're kind of like, holy shit! I actually have a girl living with me now. It's like shock and awe for some of us. Anyway, it's like, oh my god, she really likes me enough to move in. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's taking advantage. Yeah. We just constantly pinching ourselves. Is this real? Well, for me, anyways. Russ, he's pretty good at coming up with these sort of things. What's the other one? Rachel once dressed up as herself to a MGTOW party. She had to change because she scared them too much. Yeah, good old frustrated atheist.
After I've made that MGTOW video, I still get like at least, I don't know, maybe 10 comments a day on that video from angry MGTOW guys, like calling me a bitch, a slut, a whore. It's wonderful.
You actually just segued into, I was going to actually start talking to you about comments and stuff that you've had to deal with. Because some of them are because I'm one of those people that likes to check out the stuff that my friends are doing, like you or Stephen or Alex or anybody that's doing stuff. And I love to read what the comments are because And I respond to them sometimes too, which is.
Oh, really?
Some of them just, the anger just wells up and I can't contain myself. I'm like Captain Caveman at that point. Right? So, and I just start, or the Tasmanian Devil or something.
I've had friends who get really protective of me, and they read some of the comments sometimes and like, can I reply to this guy? Can I reply to him? I'm like, no, just leave it. He's just nobody. He's like, no, I'm going to reply to him. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, knock yourself out. Yeah. So, and some of them are pretty downright nasty. Like like who raised these people? Like, what the fuck? Like you
not women.
Yeah. Like unbelievable. But, yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Like, how do you deal? Like, obviously, I'm thinking to myself, you're just like, yeah, fuck you, whatever, and you just ignore them, kind of thing. But has it ever really like had a bigger impact on you? Like sometimes maybe from someone that you actually knew that dropped a bad comment or something like that.
I don't really get comments so much from people I know, but it kind of depends more of the mindset I'm already in. So when I am going through a bad patch, and I get like a lot of bad comments like that, mostly on that MGTOW video. It's literally that one video. Sometimes it will like mess me up and I do still go and have a cry. And I'm like, oh God, what if they're right? And because it's like, it's the anxious, depressed part of my brain that listens to them, and it makes it worse. And yeah, I've been through some really rough patches because of it. But most of the time, when I'm in like a stable place, it doesn't bother me. So, yeah, there have been times when I've cried a hell of a lot over it and, gone through tough patches. But when I'm, like, nice and stable, like now, I know that they don't mean anything. They're just written by angry, jealous, probably feeling a little emasculated people. And it really doesn't mean a lot. I don't know. Sometimes the comments that hurt me the most are the ones where people don't necessarily mean to, but they'll say something and be like, oh, hey, no offense, but, and then they try and say something constructive, but it's something that kind of like hits something I'm already kind of insecure about. Right. So like genuinely constructive feedback, amazing, love it. When people are like, hey, maybe try this with your audio. Hey, maybe you could read this book. Maybe you could talk about this. Maybe instead of this, you should look at this. If someone corrects me on like facts or whatever, love it. But sometimes there'll be things.
That's constructive, right? So that's what we want to hear, right?
Yeah, and I love that. And then sometimes people will say something like, oh, hey, I love your videos. No offense, but get your teeth fixed. And I'm like,
what? Really?
Yeah.
What? Look, man, I even had braces and my bottom row is still fucked up because my molars eventually, or, the wisdoms eventually came in, which I've had them yanked out by the time now. I'm just like, nah, fuck that shit. I don't care. They function. They chew my food. I don't give a shit, right?
Exactly.
Like, it's like, like
my teeth are healthy. There's no problems with them. They're just a bit wonky because, like when I was a kid, like we couldn't afford braces for me, so I'm stuck with them as they are, and they're just kind of a part of me now. But it's still something, because I have had a lot of dental problems. Hey, come on, baby. It is something that I'm still very self-conscious about. So even when people kind of try and say it nicely, it's like a punch in the stomach. And I'm like, okay, just don't cry for a while.
I don't think they mean it to be. I think they, because you're in the public eye, and they're probably thinking, hey.
That's kind of why it hurts more sometimes, because they don't necessarily mean it to be angry, but they don't necessarily mean it to be mean, but
David Worley, they know we're English, right? I'm my heritage comes from there, from Wales, England, and Ireland. So
really,
Well, see, my story is kind of different, but I think I already told you about this. I was actually born to a Christian couple. Conceived in the back of a 57 Chevy. People, it doesn't get much cooler than that. And the weird part of that is my adopted dad, the one that I grew up with, was saving a 57 Chevy for me, his first son, when I came of age. That's a really weird connection there, but it's cool. Anyway, so they had to give me up for adoption because my birth dad's mom was a Catholic, staunch Catholic. And having children out of wedlock was a big no-no. So I was raised by Jews. So I was raised Jewish. And of course, eventually I left that. Where the fuck was I going with this? Damn it. You don't want to do that. Don't get old people. But anyway, Yeah, no, I completely derailed there. Wait, what were we talking
like
about?
Heritage and like hailing from England.
Right. So when I met my biological people, my family back in the day in 2000, I found out all my part Italian, part French, Welsh, English, Irish. I have all this stuff in there. So, yeah, so I'm a shit mix. My Heinz 57. But mostly from the British Isles. So I'm technically, and I live in Canada, which is, part of the Commonwealth. So, we're almost neighbors.
I wish I could be that interesting. So my mom's really into like family history, and she's looked at our family tree.
Yep.
And like all the way back to the 1600s.
Cool.
Yorkshire. Just Yorkshire.
That's it.
Like tiny little part of South Yorkshire. Like occasionally someone will veer off and like, North Yorkshire. That's it though. But yeah.
Hey, well, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite all-time foods ever is Yorkshire pudding. So.
Good choice.
Right, a little gravy, a little butter in there. Oh my goodness, so good. I could eat those things all day, and then of course my heart would explode. But
worth it.
Worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Death by food is one of the best ways to go, I think. I used to think when I was younger, in my 20s, because of course you get to be my age and the libido kind of falls away a little bit. But I think the best way to go is like while you're having sex, eating chocolate and bacon, and then it's like, there we go. That's the best way to go, right there. That was my dream. One time. What's this? I'm from Yorkshire. Oh, Joel's from Yorkshire, yeah. Solid people. There you go. I think Dave is saying, or my friend Critical Cripple saying it's not from Yorkshire. Not Yorkshire pudding's not from Yorkshire? Lies.
Ooh. Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know. We're gonna have to fight. At least arm wrestle. All right. Well, Rachel, we are getting pretty close to the top of the hour. And I miss you. I want to hang out and stuff like down there at Faithless Forum again and drink together again, because that was so much fun.
I would love that.
It's
I'm sorry, Kara's a little bit grumpy today. I'm sorry about this.
Oh, I'm fully expecting it, and was actually kind of looking forward to Kara being all interactive in the background. I'm an animal.
You just hear it right now.
I get it. Let's go, Mom. Come on.
This is literally her, like, I want to go walkies voice.
And you said the word walkies. You said the word.
Can go walkies. Can go walk.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We got a couple minutes left, so let's let us know all the links that you want everyone to follow, and obviously your channel and stuff like that. And give us a little flavor of what we can expect for the next couple of videos.
Ooh, okay. So like I say, my channel is Rachel Oates, if you don't know. And yeah, the next few videos I've got coming up, one of them is on this like female dating strategy subreddit where women give terrible advice to other women on how to get married, but never date, just get married. And it's incredibly like sexist, and oh god, it's just like, imagine the transformed wife giving dating advice, but without the religious aspect. It's that. So that's coming up. I've got a big in-depth history one coming up on the Cairo walkies, apparently, on the plagues in London. So we're talking the Black Death, bubonic plague, the big main outbreaks in the 1300s and 1665. I'm going to be going out in London and doing some filming on location, which is going to be really, really fun. There's a few sites of the plague pits. So that's going to be exciting. And then I haven't mentioned this to anyone, but I have, going back to my roots here, with some of the videos that really kind of like got my channel. Sorry, I blame you. Some of the videos that got my channel kind of attention in the first place were looking at books by the Pearls, Michael and Debbie Pearl. So I have a couple more books by them here that I'm going to be reviewing. This one is about stopping your child from leaving religion in the family. So basically, it's a guide to childhood indoctrination. And this one is answering like questions from parents. And I've done a very brief video on this before, but there's so much more terrible stuff in here about raising your kids, what kind of sticks to beat them with, the usual stuff.
What? Really?
Yeah. Homeschooling, teaching them to not be spoilt brats by just letting them cry when they're injured and bleeding on the floor. You know, loving parenting, stuff like that.
Of course, or the opposite of loving parenting. I don't know any parent that could do that, really, that I've ever come across. All the people that I know that had kids that were injured, they're right over there right away, just to kind of give them comfort, of course, which is the right thing to do. People, you're not coddling them. You're dealing with an injury. It's like, come on.
Mm-hmm. It breaks my heart to see my niece and nephew like upset or crying over anything.
Yeah,
and like in this, they're like literally, oh, if they're injured and they're crying, it's just for attention. Let them cry. Tell them they'll be fine. You know, shoo them away. And I'm like, you heartless. It's it's kind of heartbreaking.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that because that'll be a fun one for sure. I'll try if possible. I'll try and get in there live. And do you do the chat thing once in a while when you premiere stuff, right?
Yeah, occasionally, like when it's big videos. So my Plague one I'll probably premiere, but the dating one that's going to be hopefully going out tomorrow if I can get it edited in time. Been editing all day. It's kind of like a long one. That I'll see if I'm free tomorrow to premiere it. I don't know. I make it go along. I have no schedule. I'm too disorganized for that.
That's all right. No big deal. So I'll definitely look forward to seeing you jumping in on one of those when they premiere. I'll stop in and say hello. And
that would be great.
Read my last comment. Rachel Oates, I am creating a history channel on YouTube.
Ooh.
I plan on covering the Black Death. There you go.
That's amazing. It's a very interesting topic. Yeah. If you want, I've got a couple of books I can recommend to you because I've read like 5 different books on this now, and there's a couple that are really, really good. So if you want some recommendations there, I'll send them over.
There you go. Yeah. Well, this has been so much fun. It's great to talk to you again.
I really, really enjoyed it. I do miss you.
I know. Well, we'll hang out again. We'll have a great time the next time at the Faithless Forum because I'm definitely going down there one way or the other. Even if I have to hitchhike to get down there, I'm going down. Because it was literally the best week of my life. Well, me too. One of the best weeks of my life because I lived in Israel for a couple of years, and it's going to take a lot to top that, right? Because that was a great experience living over there. Like on a kibbutz type thing, working in the fields, going to school. It was great. But so thank you so much for joining me. That was great, and it was such short notice, only a couple of weeks really, and you're like, oh yeah, shit, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that. And thank you guys for hanging out with Rachel and myself. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, I do have ways you can help support my channel. I have started up a Patreon, so the link below is there. You can also just join my Discord if you want to just hang out and talk with people that have watched the show and talk about stuff. And also I have a PayPal me link down there and my Amazon wish list. I'll let you guys in on a little bit of a secret because I'm planning on traveling quite a bit in the future with doing this sort of stuff. The best thing I think I would like to get off there if I don't pick it up myself right away is the little case for my Yeti. So it's a traveling case with the way the musicians blow at the hard steel outlet so it doesn't get all banged around. Dave Worley, give Neil money. Dave Worley, my very first patron, by the way.
Oh,
so he has the honor of that. If it is, or I don't even know. I'm seriously just rambling at this point. All right, guys. We're going to do an after party. We're going to take a bit of a 10-minute break, and then we'll jump into that because Kyra's got to take Rachel for a walk. So
I need my exercise. I need to go to the toilet on the lawn, the usual.
Yeah. And it's still a head spin for me because I'm talking to the Rachel Oates, and I used to be one of her biggest fans watching her show back in the day, so it's awesome. All right, guys, we're going to get into an after party. If you're interested in joining, although I've already had a few people tell me they really wanted to come in and say hello to Rachel, so there's minimal space. So let me know through Twitter. And by the way, Rachel, there's some messages to you from me on Twitter, by the way. They're a little bit on the older side now. Yeah, they probably got lost in I get that though, because I miss messages myself because I get quite
I'm really terrible. I have so many Facebook and Twitter messages that I've just not read. Emails, oh my god. I have like 600 unread emails. It's really bad.
Oh my goodness. I don't have that many. I might have like 60 or something, but that's about it.
I've got Instagram as well. I've got well over 100 like message requests on there that I'm like slowly trying to get through, and I'm useless at it. One day I'll get through them all.
Yeah. One of these days.
Yeah.
All right, relax, Kyra. You're going on a walk momentarily. All right, everybody. You know what I always say at the end of these things? Again, thank everybody. And thank you, Rachel. Like I always say at the end of these conversations that I have here, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.